Hey, this is Riley with Main Street ROI, and today's tip has to do with looking at your account and seeing, are your ads working? This is a big question. This is what we all want to know. So let's dive into it. So when I'm looking at an account, one of the first things I want to make sure about before I proceed any further is conversion tracking set up? So this is really super duper important. It's absolutely crucial. You have to know if people are converting or not from your Google ads. Otherwise, you have no idea what to change, if they're working, if they're not working. So conversion tracking is really super important to make sure it's set up correctly. Something too that you want to make sure of is that the conversions that you're tracking make sense. So, for example, if you were just curious, you wanted to know how many people from your Google ads, maybe they direct to different service pages, how many people end up on the contact page, not contact form submissions, that's different. And that should be a primary conversion most of the time. But if you just want to track page views of the contact page, that should be a secondary conversion goal, not a primary one. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you're in your account, you'd go to Tools and Settings and Conversions. So something like a page view here should be set to secondary, because if it's set to primary, what this is doing is we're telling Google Ads, depending on our bidding strategy, we're telling Google Ads, hey, optimize for more of these types of conversions. So if you're optimizing for just page views, then you can imagine why that would be kind of a problem, and it wouldn't be as effective as optimizing for something that really impacts the bottom line for your business, like phone calls or purchases, form submissions, something like that. So you can actually change this when you click on the conversion action here. But yeah, so that's number one. Conversion tracking has to be set up. Number two, second thing I look at, kind of from a broad level, is I'll go to ad groups and I want to look at click-through rates. So what I'm trying to see here is, what are our click-through rates at the ad group level? So from there, I can then kind of get more specific as needed. But what I'm curious about is, are there any ad groups in particular that are not they're not doing as well as the others in terms of click-through rate? That would indicate that either we're not getting in front of the right people, or there's something about our ad that simply isn't compelling enough for them to click on. So I just have the last 30 days selected here, and I can already see that a lot of these look good. These click-through rates are really high because these are going to be brand campaigns. So there's brand keywords in there, so that makes sense. Typically with search, anything lower than 4% is really a red flag. So this one right here, the kids' toothbrushes ad group, is really standing out to me. Also, you want to make sure that you have enough data. So like, for example, this is a 33% click-through rate, but it's only based on 3 impressions and 1 click. So that's really not enough data to have any opinion about that ad group. We want to have something closer to, I'd say, at least 25, since I'm looking at this ad group, but ideally the more the better. So let's actually look at this ad group and see what could be causing such a low click-through rate. So in here I have this filtered by impressions. So I'm looking at search terms. These are what people actually typed into Google. Which search terms were responsible for the most ad impressions? And right off the bat, I can see that this is not relevant, and neither is this. These two. So it looks to me like the reason for the low click-through rate is really just a matter of search terms, irrelevant search terms being matched for our keywords. So this is where, this keyword is relevant to the account, but Google is saying, you know what, it's phrase match, it's a close variant. We're going to match for this keyword anyway. So that's why reviewing search terms regularly is super duper important for overall account health. So what I'll do is I'll select these 5 and I'm going to add them as negative keywords. And what that's going to do is tell Google, if these are ever searched in Google again, don't show my ad for these keywords. So I like to add these to a negative keywords list, and the default is to add them as exact match negative keywords, which is the safest, I think. So we'll hit save. And that's it for negative keywords. So on the other hand, if when I was looking at ad groups, if I was seeing that there were really high conversion, or not conversion rates, click-through rates in the account, but there weren't any conversions, then the next thing I would look at is the landing page and the website. So, if click-through rates are high, but there's no conversions, assuming conversion tracking is set up correctly, then that's an indication that the ad is looking relevant when someone clicks on it. But when they actually get to the website and the landing page, there's something about their experience on the page that's proving to be either difficult or not relevant. And so they're leaving the site and they're not converting. I actually did run into this recently in an account. And what was happening was people were going to the landing page and they'd click on an individual service. And that service would then, they'd click on an individual service, specific one, that would then direct to an all services page. So then the user would then have to, find the service that they had just clicked on, and it was creating some confusion for them. And so, I went into Google Analytics and I looked at the behavior flow report, and I could see that people were hitting the landing page, going to a specific, page for a particular service, then back to the landing page, and then dropping off the site. So that's one example of kind of how to think about this, and look at your account and identify what are opportunities for improvement. Are my ads actually working? Are they not? Where are people falling off, and for what reason? So I hope this has been really helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. This is what we do, and we're always here to help. So with that, I'll see you guys at the next tip.